Hi, I'm here briefly. I'm going to discuss the Wisconsin matter. The state of Wisconsin is in turmoil now. What happened was Scott Walker was elected. He was elected in a highly democratic state. He was a Republican. He ran on the platform of reforming union collective bargaining agreements, how the unions do collective bargaining and their powers. And he was elected duly by the majority of the people. Turns out, when the legislature was going to meet, and the legislature also was elected majority Republican, so it was a referendum on the issue of unions. Those issues were brought up during the election, and the majority of the people wanted reform. Hence, Scott Walker and the legislature got elected. A majority of the Republicans were elected, and when these legislators went to vote on a bill, Democratic legislators fled. They fled the state. They fled to Illinois, which has a Democratic governor. And here's the problem. The legislature cannot conduct business, vote on any financial matters, because they do not have a quorum. A quorum is a minimum number of people required to be present before a vote can be taken on financial matters. That's, in this case, the Democrats fled, so they cannot bring them back to the state because they don't know where they are. And the Republicans cannot hold the legislative session. They cannot vote on these matters. So the Democrats, in a sense, are obstructing governmental administration, hindering the operation of government. Now let's look. First of all, the Democrats don't, even though they don't have the votes, that's how democracy works. The majority wins. You may not like it. Next time you get your people together, your constituents, and vote out Scott Walker, vote out the legislators if you don't like them. But you have a duty as a legislator. You take an oath to uphold the laws of the state and the Constitution, and you must do so. You cannot flee the state in dereliction of your duties simply because you do not agree with a possible outcome of a vote. You have a duty to do the people's work, and the people, this is a Republican form of government, and the people selected, and they elected their legislators. Unfortunately, for the unions, a majority of the Republicans were elected, and therefore the Republicans want to pass reform measures limiting the collective bargaining rights of unions. The problem is now the unions now they're afraid that the bill will pass, so they had the legislators, the Democratic legislators, the legislators fled. They're obstructing governmental administration. The Democrats should be ordered to return. They don't have to vote one way or another, but they simply have to be present to allow a vote to occur. Otherwise, they're obstructing the governmental process. The legislators are not able to do the work of the people that sent them there, the voters, the majority, and then that's the problem. The legislators are violating their oath to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, the U.S. Constitution. Now here's another problem. In the U.S. Constitution, Title 4 in the Constitution, here's what it reads in part in regards to a Republican form of government. It says, the United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government. Now, a Republican form of government is simply this. A group of people elect a legislator to represent them in the legislative body, as opposed to a democracy, which would be the people themselves showing up to a legislative body, and it's different because one is direct, one is indirect. The Republican form is indirect, and that's what we have here. The people voted, they selected their legislators, and the majority of the legislators that won support the reform bill. But now the minority doesn't want the reform bill to go through. That's too bad. That's the way democracy operates. If you don't like them, you vote them out later. But what these people are doing is they're obstructing governmental administration on a state level, and on a federal level, they're obstructing a Republican form of government guaranteed under our Constitution. Now, what should happen is the citizens of Wisconsin should at first go order the Democrats back. If they don't come back, go to their state district attorneys and file a criminal complaint for obstructing governmental administration and even obstructing a constitutionally guaranteed Republican form of government. Then, furthermore, they should go to the U.S. Attorney and ask that the U.S. Attorney criminally file a charge against these legislators for obstructing governmental administration, and mainly obstructing a Republican form of government guaranteed by our Constitution. There are other issues here. A number of the teachers went out striking in violation of the current law. Those teachers should be penalized, and especially the doctors. There were doctors in the crowds giving out fraudulent notes indicating fraudulently that the teachers were sick. The doctors should be investigated by the respective medical boards or the disciplinary boards of the regulating the medical profession. They should have their license pulled for committing fraud and for not being fit for the practice of medicine. Furthermore, the teachers should be ordered to go back to work. They're hindering they're hindering and obstructing the regular orderly operation of the school system by not showing up. Now, they can protest, that's okay, but they should not take off of work, causing a hindrance to the operation of the schools. So that's my take on this. That the legislators should be criminally prosecuted. The other thing is, it's possible that the Scott Walker or the other legislators should go into a state court, ask that the judge order the legislators to return, to resume the business of the people, and ask that the judge give a court order ordering them to return. If they do not return, they will be held in contempt and they'll be prosecuted. Furthermore, go to the U.S. Attorney's office, file a criminal complaint, go to a federal judge, ask that the judge give an order them to return to the legislature. Obviously, the judge can't tell them what to vote, but they simply have to have their presence there. Furthermore, if one of the legislators appears in the state, they should be arrested by the sergeant at arms of the respective legislative body, brought into the legislature, and a vote should occur. That would give them enough votes to have a quorum and to hold a vote. That's my take on it. This is my first YouTube video. I wonder if anybody has any comments. Please comment. And I'd appreciate your comments one way or the other. All right, take it easy.